Psalms 107, Psalms 107, verse 2 and 3. Verse 2 says, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. NIV says, let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. I love that. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. The redeemed of the Lord. I told you that this season, you are going to know God as a Father who is a Redeemer. You're going to know Him as a Father that is a Redeemer. You're going to know Him as a Father who redeems. You're going to know Him as a Redeemer. This is your portion. And David says, so sweet. David says, let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. Hey, I love it. Whom He hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy. Listen, you are going to tell your story because of the redemption of God in your life. You are going to experience the power of redemption in every area of your life. And you will come back and tell your story. I'm speaking to you. You may feel like you don't know what to do. Listen, it is the power of redemption that was at work in Peter's life. Yes. And he remembered that he needed to be forgiven before his destruction. Let me explain. Peter denies Jesus. Let me read for you. In the book of Matthew chapter 26, verse 69, all the way to verse 75. You will see how Peter denied Jesus 3 times. I may not have time to read all of it. But 74 says, then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. Peter denied Jesus, swearing. He denied that he didn't know Jesus with cursing. He was swearing, he was cursing. Aye, this one. Verse 75. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus. Because, okay, let me read verse 4. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. It was the power of redemption that was at work in him. And he remembered that Judas betrayed Jesus, that he was destroyed. His life was destroyed. He died. Peter denied Jesus. Judas betrayed Jesus. He died. Peter denied Jesus. He was redeemed. The power of redemption was on him. And he remembered that he needed to be saved. He needed to be forgiven before his destruction. Let me show you in the book of Luke chapter 22. Luke 22 verse 31. Look at that. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. So the first statement, Jesus was addressing all the disciples. He says, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. Yes, verse 32. But I have prayed for you. Now he singles out Peter. He tells him, but I have prayed for you, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. What is the meaning of that? Peter, when you are converted. So Peter needed conversion. What was that? It was the power of redemption that was at work in Peter's life. When he remembered, the moment he denied Jesus at that time, the cock crew. And Peter remembered, he ran to it bitterly. He repented. He was converted. What was that? The power of redemption. It was redemption at work in the life of Peter. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter that you left Jesus, the ways of God. It doesn't matter if you left the will of God. It's time to remember. It's time to take advantage of this power of redemption and go back to Jesus. Come on, pay attention to what I'm saying. Listen, after denying Jesus, the power was available, redemption was available, and he used it. Use this power of redemption. Make use of this redemption in your life now. Don't allow the enemy to destroy you. Don't allow. This power of redemption is always available. But you know what? Many don't know. The power of redemption was available for Peter, and Peter used it. He repented. He was converted. And after he was converted, the same power that converted him helped others. He strengthened the faith of others. You remember that night at Gethsemane, everyone deserted Jesus. They all left him. Even John, the one that was always at the bosom of Jesus, he also deserted Jesus. But when Peter was converted, when the power of redemption worked on Peter, that Peter was not destroyed, he went to strengthen others. Listen, this power of redemption is your portion. May you go and strengthen others. May you pass on this power of redemption to others, because it's working in your life now. The book of Isaiah says, Isaiah 44, verse 21. No, 31, sorry, 21 to 23. But I have blotted out, verse 21. Remember this, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant, I have formed you. Thou art my servant, O Israel, thou shalt not be forgotten of me. When the power of redemption is upon you, you cannot be forgotten. You can't. God is telling Israel and Jacob that thou shalt not be forgotten of me. Why? Because I have redeemed you. Hey. Thou art my servant, you shall not be forgotten of me. 22 says, I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgressions, and as a cloud thy sins. Return unto me, for I have redeemed you. God is reminding Jacob and Israel that I have redeemed you. Return unto me. I have forgiven you. I have blotted your sins, your transgressions. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. Listen to me, child of God. You are the redeemed of the Lord. Return to the Lord. Return to him. 23, sing, O ye heavens, for the Lord hath done it. Shout, ye lower part of the earth, break forth into singing, ye mountains, all forest, and every tree therein. For the Lord hath redeemed Jacob and glorified himself in Israel. For God has redeemed Jacob and glorified himself in Israel. When God redeems you, when the power of redemption is upon you, God glorifies himself in your life. Listen to me carefully, child of God. Where I began, Psalm 107. Let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. I want to tell you this one thing, that you are the redeemed of the Lord, and you're going to tell your story. The way Job told his story. Job chapter 1 verse 1 says, there was a man in the land of Uz. Let me show you. There was a man. Job chapter 1 verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. You would tell of your story, because you are the redeemed of the Lord. You may feel forgotten. You may feel giving up. You may feel you don't know what to do. But listen, the redemption power of God is your portion. Redemption is your portion. And you will tell your story, because redemption changes the story of man. And you are not an exception. The redemption power of God is changing your story. And you will tell your story. In other words, God is giving you a testimony of redemption. May God give you a powerful testimony, a testimony of redemption. For you are the redeemed of the Lord.